What's going on, everybody? This is Ken here. You are now tuned in to Atlanta DJ Zone Tech Tuesday Live. You're here with the kid, aka Kenyon Ellis. About to get the podcast started off. I took a few weeks, probably about a 5 or 6 week hiatus because my internet speed was low. I downgraded to a less plan. They call it the assistance plan, which it was a lot cheaper. I ran that for about 2 months, but it wasn't it wasn't good enough for me to do my stream. So I took a week off doing that, and then plus I had some personal stuff that I was doing as well. So now I got a new speed. I'm on gigabit speed now, and I'm back. So that's going to be the topic of tonight, about educating you guys on what you need to know about internet speed in order to do your stream, whether you're doing a podcast like this, or if you're DJing or spinning or whatever you're doing. What I'm going to say tonight will help you out and help your podcast or your set, your DJ set or whatever, to get better. Because just like with doing a sound check, you now need to do a speed test check. So I'm gonna get into that later. Right now, let's go ahead and get into some of the topics that I have. Let me get my banners up. All right. Also, if you are tuned in tonight, and if you're going to comment, make sure you click. There should be a link below at the bottom of the initial post. Click on that link. If I remember right, is StreamYard.com/Facebook. Click on that link, or maybe Facebook.com/StreamYard, whichever one it is. Click on that link, so when you make a comment, I will be able to see who's commenting and basically what you're saying. Because if you comment, it just says Facebook user, and it puts a silhouette of a guy. So I like to know who's commenting when when I get ready to look, when I get to the point where I have comments or I'm about to look at comments. So let's see what we got going on tonight. Let me pull my banners up. So I have everything in order because I got things scheduled tonight. And today is all right. So a lot of stuff is going to be, I'm gonna edit this, if especially if it's long. It's not gonna be a 5 hour long podcast, but if it is long, 2 hours or whatever, I'm gonna trim back some of the stuff, maybe some of the live stuff that's really not necessary for a recorded podcast. So I'm gonna trim back on some of that, and then that'll be available for those that want to watch it later on. So right now, let's start the show over. All right, welcome everybody. My name is Kenyon Ellis, aka the Kid. You are now tuned in to Atlanta DJ Zone Tech Tuesday Live. It's a podcast show that I do every week or whenever I can, Tuesday at 9:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So make sure you tune in. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe so you can be tuned in to other podcasts and other videos. Because I have a lot of videos, a lot of videos that have not been archived into YouTube that I had done on Facebook, that I'm going to be going and editing them and adding them on the Facebook. So I mean, into YouTube. So make sure you tune in, subscribe, and like, and share. Especially subscribe so you can see those other videos, because there may be something in there that you may need to know to help whatever it is that you're going to do, your stream or your DJ set, equipment, computer setup, or whatever. A lot of stuff that I do is basically DJ related, but I mean, I do some stuff that's not DJ related, or it can be across the whole board as for what you can do. But anyway, welcome. Thank you for tuning in. Let's jump to the next topic. Let's see what we got going on. Future topics. All right. Now, I mentioned this in the post, and I'm going to start on it this week. I'm going to go back to the I'm gonna go back to the original post, and I'm gonna start finding those that was interested first in the project, and start working on those first, and then anybody else. So at this point, if anybody that's tuned in want to become involved, make sure hit me up on Facebook, or hit me up in the comments. Add a comment here, so I would know, and I can go back and contact you when it's available. But the thing is, what I'm going to be doing soon, and that segment is going to play before the main topic starts, is that I'm going to be doing a segment called In the Zone. Now, In the Zone is going to be where I do a pre-recorded interview with the DJ, probably maybe 5 or 10 minutes, not too long, just enough to ask maybe 4 or 5 of the basic questions. And basic questions are questions that I will probably ask everybody. So a lot of people that will soon be featured, they will know what they would need to answer, because I will be asking that same question. And as well, I may throw in maybe 1 or 2 additional questions depending on what it is that I want to ask you, or maybe what you want to provide or tell everybody, let everybody know about. So it's going to be called In the Zone, and it's going to be pre-recorded, so I can let it play at this point. 5 or 10 minutes, it'll play, and it'll be based where a DJ every week. I haven't decided really on how I'm going to do it. I can do it based on first come, first serve. The first one that I interview, he's the first person. I thought about doing it with like a draw straws type thing, where I would have numbers assigned to everybody, and then have a random picker to go in and pull a number. And by pulling that number, then that would be the person for that week. Then we take that number out, and then do so forth. So I may just do it based on first come, first serve, because it may work out that well, since I will be probably starting it next week if I can get a few done. Right now, I think I may have probably about around 10 people when I first mentioned it that was interested. Then I got others that I know that I want to add. So if you want to become involved in that, then just hit me up. Let me check out. I got a few comments here. Oh, I got a comment. Let's see what's going on. Mr. DJ Dave, Mr. Get With It, what's going on? You just subscribed. Thank you for subscribing. Make sure you like the videos, because I got some stuff. I'm gonna go ahead and drop that tip today. I know I've been holding off and telling people that I found the secret. I found the secret to where you can stream and not get booted or blocked or muted or whatever, which I did. You will, well, with the new technique that they came out with, you will get muted. And when I tested it by playing music straight through, I just had Serato open. I started one track, and while me and a few other people, because I was letting people come in to see how did it work out with guests coming in. I had a guest come in, and it just worked out normally. But when it went to Facebook, it ended up it ended up where I got muted. So what I did then was I just stopped it. I knew that you get muted if you did it normally, but it's not the normal process that will keep you from doing that. But anyway, I'll mention that I mentioned that later, somewhere close to the end, because I want to make sure that I get everything off. As for what I'm doing, yo, what's up, 007? What's up, bro? All right, let's see who else we got here so I can get started. Rudy, what's going on, Rudy? All right, let me mention this. Shout out to Rudy, man. Shout out to Rudy. Rudy, he hit me up a few days ago, and with a new image, a different image for the Atlanta DJ Zone group. If you haven't checked it out, check out the banner. The new banner is a project that he did before it was approved. I sent it to the other admins to, hey, somebody submitted this image. If y'all like it, I can go ahead and swap it out with the other one. Of course, I kept the old one in case we want to put that back up, or if somebody else want to use it for another reason. But I guess it was time for a new look, and I added it. Everybody likes it. There's been comments on it, and before the other admins were able to approve, I said, okay, if they decide that that it doesn't fit with being a new banner, just add Tech Tuesday Live on the bottom of it, and I'll use it for my podcast. I didn't have he finished it. We were on a call today, and I showed him just swap this out, put it here and there, and do this. It only took a few minutes for him to do, and it looks great. I didn't have time to incorporate it today, so you don't see it down here at the bottom. It's going to be somewhere right here next week, and then I have a 5-minute intro that unfortunately I couldn't play. The format that it's in, it would not play on this computer. It's in a MKV. It's an MKV file. So I created it in OBS, so I can play it to begin this podcast. But next week I'm gonna redo it, but I'm gonna have that logo in there, and then I'm gonna have a logo down here at the bottom, like a little watermark or something like that. But shout out to Rudy for doing that, Mr. Uh, DJ Official. DJ Official. Thanks for that. And let's see, last comment. Okay, done. All right, cool. So now I got all the comments out the way. Uh, future topic. Future topic is what did I say? In the zone. In the zone, where I'm gonna have a DJ um, pre-recorded interview every week. You basically get to shine, and you get to it's basically promotion. You'll be able to promote yourself, promote any other services that you have, because like I do always here, I do zoning out. I do a feature called zoning out, where before any of my guests leave, I let them do basically a shout out, where they can be found, their social media, and anything else that they want to promote out to everybody. I got an interruption. Yes, sir.
Yeah, road trafficking.
Do I have what?
Road
I think
trafficking.
Kenya has one.
Kansas City.
Nope, I don't have one. Do me a favor. My water cup by the lamp in the family room, get it, clean it out, fill it up ice and water, and bring it to me. So in the zone and zoning out. Zoning out is something that I'm already doing. Whenever I have guests on, I let them just do a shout out. That's all it is a shout out. You broadcast your social media, your Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, any websites that you have, any if when once the pandemic is over or it's lifted up, if you do any residencies anywhere, or if you're playing anywhere or whatever, you get a chance to do that too. So that's some of the future topics right now, and I'm gonna make this real short. uh Q&A real quick. 3 questions. Anybody have 3 questions that that they want to mention right now, something really quick? I probably should move the Q&A to the end. I think next time I'm gonna move it to the end. So I tell you what, let's hold up on the questions real quick. Hold up on the questions to the end, because also I'm gonna add in the secret to streaming on Facebook and not get muted, because you can't get muted. You can't get muted this way. I don't see any possible way that you can get muted this way, and labels is going to catch them a while before it's going to take them a while before they find out a way to be able to hit people with violations for playing music. And I mean, I mentioned this a lot, that I've been talking about this for a while and nobody never caught on. So then I stopped mentioning it. Then I just kind of hinted it out again. And now everybody wants to know. Thank you, sir. Did you put that card in yet?
No, not
So a lot of people want to know. And I said, okay, I have a personal page. Get 200 people, hit the like button on the personal page. I'll share the information. Still haven't got it yet. And then they came out with a new feature on it to where it shows up like you're actually uh, doing it on Facebook, but you can still get muted. You could do that plus the other thing on the side. But like I said, that will be, I mentioned that in the end, and somebody remind me to bring up Q&A again in case I forget and I get sidetracked with the topic. So we're gonna skip we're gonna skip Q&A until the end. All right. What else? Week's recap. I haven't really had a chance to go in and check for any recaps or anything that went on in the group. That oh, I guess the recap is that Rain finally dropped the Mark II for the 12. The Rain 12 Mark II, they finally dropped it. It was seen a few months ago during Jazzy Jeff's live stream, that a lot of people caught eye that he had a Mark 12, and it was never released. There was no date that it was going to be released, and then at that point they stopped. They discontinued the Mark Ones. There were no Mark Ones to be sold anywhere in retail. The Mark One stopped. So now they build a demand for the Mark Twos, because you can't buy any Mark Ones. They pulled all the Mark Ones, or they stopped making the Mark Ones, which is a smart move on them. And also along with that, they also did or revamped the Ring 72. Now there's a Ring 72 Mark II, which it looks, from what I've been told, it looks exactly the same. The only difference is the fader. Is as a Marv fader, or whatever the fader is called, Marv 4 fader or whatever. A lot of people say they don't like it. A lot of people have either went with the Intel fader, or what's the other fader? There's another fader, the Intel fader, or the whatever the other fader is. But it's a good fader, but it's not as good as the originals. I don't even know if it's as good as the 62. I haven't really uh, tested or tried out a 70 or a 72. So I don't know what the fader is, but the only difference is fader. There, of course, whenever new gear comes out, Serato has a new version to drop, because they have to have the patch for new gear when it comes out. So as long as there is new gear coming out, there's going to be another version of Serato to come out. There'll be a point something. 2 point something as long as gear coming out. And I don't know where we at right now. 2 point. I don't even know where it is. 2.5, 2.8, or whatever. I may be behind one or two. But anyway, they had to release a new version to handle the new gear, which is really not anything new. As for the 72, is just the 12 has a load feature that was add a load feature knob and a few other buttons, instant doubles button. I think that's what it was. It's the load and the instant doubles. And really, they may not have really made any internal changes to the whole unit. So you may be working on a Mark One, but just rebranded as a Mark Two and added another feature. Could have been no more than a small circuit board that has the load knob on it and the instant doubles, and it's connected to the main board, and the main board is programmed to handle those features. But they basically stop all the Mark Ones. They stopped the Mark One on the Rain 12, and I think they stopped the Mark One on the 72 as well. But there's really no difference. So whichever one you get, and I think the price is about the same at about is it 1800, 1799 or something like that for the Rain 12, and I think 800 or something like that. 17 1799 for the 72, and 800 for the Rain 12 each. So there's really not too much of a difference on that. So that's the recap. No, everybody has been talking about it, but there's not as much talk about it as it was when the items were first released. But now it's the only thing that you can buy because they've pulled all the Mark Ones, and it could be something else behind it. I mean, we don't know. Anyway, let me take a sip real quick, and we're going to start off. When I start off, when I start off with the topic for the night, which is basically on internet stuff, there's going to be two segments to it. The first segment that I'm about to start right now is PowerPoint based. So I got slides, I got pictures, not a whole lot, just a little bit. I'm gonna kind of make it brief and quick, but I'm sure there'll be a lot of talking in it to explain stuff about things you need to know about the internet, about services, especially if you have problems. And then the second half is going to be more of a hands-on, where I'm going to open up OBS and show you basically the changes that you need to make based on what I mentioned in the first half. So let me get this computer set up so I can get that done. So let's see. If I got anybody got anything they want to say real quick, go ahead. I go ahead and post them on the screen. I'm gonna hold off from adding guests right now, just so the stream is not that long. Come on, where is it? there. So I need to do shared screen from this laptop. All right, let me see. We got a comment here. Let's see what's going on. All right, didn't see the StreamYard link. Can you post it, repost it again? Which I haven't did the guess. I'm gonna hold off on the guess until after the main topic is done. So if anybody have any questions on that or anything else, we can go ahead and do that at that point. Right now, I'm trying to get. I got to get a. Trying to get my shared screen. Test, test. That. Test, test. Okay, good, good. Make sure I don't get any feedback. All right, I spent a little time putting this together. It's not a whole lot. I wasn't ready to share it yet. All right, now first thing I'm gonna talk about is let me see, 'cause I had the questions down. Same questions that I wrote. Okay, that's the second part. All right, go ahead and start with this because this is important. Now, I always tell people whenever, before you get ready to do a stream, do a speed test, just like you would do a sound check whenever you're playing at a gig. You also need to do, at this point, since you're streaming, you need to do a sound check for your stream. So at this point, you need to do an internet speed test to see what type of speeds that you're pushing it. Now, uh, both speeds that you're getting are not important when you're streaming. You have one set of speeds that's more important than the other, but then you also have something else that's important too. So that's what I'm gonna get into right now, and I got some slides to go ahead and get that off now. And let me make it full screen so y'all can see. All right, the first thing I want to talk about is ping. Ping, the number that's circled in red, and this is a speedtest.net that I use to do this test. The ping is basically, and let me read what it says, and then I'm gonna explain it a little bit more so you'll be able to understand it. Speed. The ping is the reaction time your connection for your. Excuse me. Ping is the reaction time for your connection. How fast you get a response after you sent out a request. A fast ping means a more responsive connection, especially in applications where timing is everything, like video games. Ping is measured in milliseconds. Now, to break that down a little bit more to where you can understand it a little bit more, when you're doing when you're looking at the ping speed, which 13 is real good. I think the lowest that I've ever got was 6. Ping is basically where you send a packet of data from your location to the server that you're testing, which in this case, if you look, is sent to Spectrum in Sugar Hill, which that is the closest. Whenever you do a speed test, make sure you use whatever city or location is the closest to you. The closest it is to you, the the faster your your ping speed will be. Like, say for instance, if and I did this by accident. I think I did a speed test with another site, and I think it was Washington D.C. or somewhere far off. Now my ping was still kind of high, but not as high as I thought it would be. I think the ping was like 20 milliseconds. So, of course, when you have longer distances, no matter what it is, you're going to have some type of ping or, in most cases, latency or some type of delay that you're going to have. So, the further that you do that ping test, and what it does, it sends a set of packet from your location to the testing location, and then it returns back. And 13 milliseconds is the time that it took to go to Sugar Hill and then come back. Total round trip to and back, 13 seconds. And really, lower than 10 is where you get it. With streaming, you don't want to have it no higher than probably maybe 20, 25. The more you have it, or the higher that it is, the lag that you have between your audio and video. So where your audio and video is not in sync, you'll be able to have ping, or you'll be able to have a longer ping. So if I test, and if I use Atlanta, which using speedtest.net, you have several different locations. And like I said, Sugarloaf, not Sugarloaf, but Sugar Hill is close by, and then there's another one that I test to in Swanee. Those locations are closer than the Atlanta location. The Atlanta locations is either 36 miles or more. These locations is probably maybe about 25, maybe not even that far, because from where we are, the next city is Lawrenceville and Decula, and then from there you got Beaufort, then you got Sugar Hill. So it's not really that far. It takes about 40 minutes, depending on which direction you go. About 40 minutes to get to the Mall of Georgia from here. And that's just in traffic. That's not like freeway traffic. That's like basic roadway traffic, about 55 miles per hour or even slower. So, like I said, ping is basically the speed that it takes you to go from here to here and back. You go in one place and back, and that's the time. 13 is real good. And like I said, you want to make sure that that remains low. And I'll mention later on how you can get a lower ping speed besides changing changing your server location. And like I said, by changing your location, which right here you see is Spectrum for me, drop off again. And right here you see Spectrum is the location. I can click on change servers and also choose another. Now I went and tried to find the the best speed test sites to use. There's some that are applications that you can use on your phone, which I don't really recommend people to stream from your phone anyway. Some people can, some people do. So you can get even this application, speedtest.net, is available on Android and Apple devices. So that's your ping. You want it to be low. You don't want it to be no higher than 25 or 30. In the teens is good. If you can get it down to single digits, that's even better. And I'll explain later on how you can get that down when I get into the second part. Let's see. I just had a question to pop up. I had two questions pop up. Is there a way to force the packet to go to? You can the best way to get it faster is to test from a site that's closest. Like I said, testing. If I use if I use Atlanta instead of or Swanee or Sugarloaf, my ping will be a little bit higher because I'm sending a further distance, even if it takes less than a second, because this time is actually less than a second. But with a delay or a latency, you can notice the difference. And you're always going to have some type of latency or delay in your stream. And what I mean by that, you're always going to have is that, say for instance, if I'm downstairs, if I'm upstairs, if I have a TV playing downstairs and a TV playing upstairs, there's going to be a delay between those two devices, and I will be able to hear a slight delay, and that's because there's a distance between them. There can be also a delay between two people talking on the phone that are like close to each other. You could be you could be talking to the phone with me, and the my voice and what you're hearing won't be in sync. It'll be just a slight bit of delay between when I speak into the phone and when you hear it. I mean, it'll probably take time and more technology to eliminate that, but right now we're going to have that issue. And the only way you can correct that is to put a delay into your video to match the delay in your audio. So basically, you slow it down, whichever one is the fastest, slow it down to match up whichever one is the slowest. So basically, you telling one to pause while the other one is playing catch up in order to be able to be together. That's the only way you can. And I mean, there's other stuff, some of the other stuff, and I go ahead and mention it now to get your ping test is a better CPU on your computer and more RAM. So the newer and the faster your computer will indicate your ping, because remember, it has to leave from your computer. Your computer has to process that information before it goes out to the stream. So it's a little bit more than just your internet, but it's significantly not much that it will change that. So your speed will probably play a bigger part of it, and especially if the testing location, the testing server is closer to you. And I'll probably try it a little bit later where I'll do a ping test from a different location, and we'll see what goes on from there. So I hope that kind of answers that question. Answer that question there. When are you streaming? When when am I streaming? I didn't get that question. Um, Specify, state that a little bit more. Give me a little detail what you mean. I'm sure you probably asked that with something I said earlier, and I'm just not getting to your question. So let me. I'm trying to understand what you. When am I streaming? I mean, because right now I'm streaming now, and there's a delay from when the words come out of my mouth and when you hear them. Even if I play it back, and right now everything is happening right now, but if I watch the same video that y'all watching, if I watch this on a different browser window, which usually I have a different browser window open, I have a screen right here. If I open it, the delay between what I'm saying that's coming out of my mouth, that's going into my mic, that's going into the webcam, is going to be somewhere between a minute and 45 seconds from the time that I see it on the screen. It's not like everything is processing and happening right here in this room. It processes in this room, but then it leaves out of this room. It goes to a server location. It goes to StreamYard. It goes to their servers, and it's processed. And then from there, it's broadcast on my YouTube channel. And then you're watching it from there. And then right there at that point, it's sent from StreamYard to YouTube. It's then sent to StreamYard to YouTube, and then you're watching it on YouTube. So then there's going to be another delay. That's why the ping test is rapid. It's just that quick. But then when you add all this other distances, because I don't know where StreamYard's servers are located, I don't know what state or what country is located. I don't know where the facility that YouTube has their servers that it goes when it leaves from StreamYard. So all that distance, let's just say the distance is 1,500 miles that it has to travel. The words that I'm saying right now takes 45 seconds to go 1,500 miles. I mean, that's lightning speed. That's real lightning speed. And let me see, because I see other questions here that you asking. Okay, I think I answered your question. Did I answer the question? Okay, you answered it, but don't worry. Okay, let's see what else you said. Okay, see the 25 seconds is a lot. Yeah, you really don't want to have it over 25 seconds. I mean, you'll be able to see a difference. And like I said, the only way that you can eliminate that is that you have to play catch up one way. So you have to either put and usually the the audio, since the audio uses less bandwidth and the video requires more bandwidth, the audio is usually ahead of the video. So you can be watching a video, and if especially if it's buffering, or basically where buffering is where it's not in real time. It downloads into segments, is streamed into segments. When you're watching something, you watch it, you only be able to see maybe a few seconds, and it'll stop and freeze, and you'll get some type of pinwheel or something, and then it has to upload more information. Now that can be due to both sides. That could be due to the person's upload and the person that's watching download. So at that point, you want to really have both, but usually in this case, what we're talking about is with the person that's streaming. So let me go ahead and move on to the next slide. Oh, there was another question, or there was another comment. Slow audio down. You could take a delay pedal or delay fix, and I think you can do it in OBS because OBS have all different types of plugin. You could probably add a delay plugin and have that plugin to slow down, but you need to know how much you need to slow it down. So you may need to watch it, practice on a test stream before you do it, so you would know how to get both in sync and in real time. All right, let me go to the next slide. Drop out for a second. All right, ping. Next one is download. Now, download is not as crucial. It's not as crucial as upload. In this case, download is not important. Let me go ahead and read what it says. The download speed is how fast you can pull data from the server to you. Most connections are designed to download much faster than upload, since a majority of online activity, like loading web pages or streaming video, consists of download. Download speed is measured in megabits per second, or it could be Mbps, or it could be MB/S, which is the same. So you may see that different ways. Now, download is not really that important when you're streaming. It will only be important, like say for instance, if I'm playing a video clip, if I'm playing a video clip from an artist, or if I'm playing, some type of video. That's especially if I'm playing it from a streaming location, then that would be download. Like if I play a YouTube video, that's download. I would need that because it's information that I need to receive. Somebody sent it, they have it on YouTube server. I'm requesting to watch it. So it's going one way. That's a one-way trip. So right now, with the download speed that I have, I shouldn't have any problems with any video, including 4K. And like I said, also, just like I said with the ping, it also is based on your computer. So you can have the fastest download speed and the slowest computer, and it will be crap. It will still be slow. You probably still buffer, whatever. So anything inside your computer, you can have a old NIC card or old network card. You can have 4 gigs of RAM. You can have tons of programs that's running in the background. You can have a dual core or slower processor, and it will hinder your download speed. So having an up-to-date computer or something that's fast and reliable helps out with your download speed. Now, we don't need to really talk about download speed that much because, like I said, download speed is really not that important. So the gigabit speed that I have, it goes up to 1 gigabit download. I'm not exactly sure what the upload speed is, but so far, the upload speed that I'm getting right now is about the average that I usually get on every device. So 42 megabytes is about the average, which that's good. And that's what we're about to get into next. All right. Now, and I mentioned this time and time again, this right here is the most important whenever you stream. So whenever you do a speed test, the two important things that you need to know is ping and upload. Because the ping is basically a combination of download and upload. You're uploading a packet to the server location and then it's being downloaded back. So out of that 13 seconds, we could say 13 milliseconds, we could say that it takes 6 milliseconds to get to the server location and 7 milliseconds to get back because my well no excuse me other way around it takes less it takes a faster time or a longer time to get there and a quicker time to get back. Since my upload speed is less than my download speed, it will take, let's say, 8 seconds, 8 seconds to get there and 5 milliseconds, excuse me, milliseconds, 8 milliseconds to get there, 5 milliseconds to get back. And that's based on my internet speed. Now, this is what we got about upload. The upload is how fast you send data from you to others. Upload is necessary for sending big files via email or using video chat to talk to someone else online. Since you have to send them video, since you have to send your video feed to them, upload speed is measured in megabits per second, the same as download. So um, basically, your upload speed will be what you're sending out. So if you have a higher upload speed, then your stream is going to be a whole lot better because you're when you're streaming, video is going to be a lot. And I get into this more as we start to get into OBS. When I get into OBS, I'll show you what you need to do based on what your internet speed is. So if you're having speeds where it's slow and lagging and stuff like that, then you need to know how to make these changes in order to make your stream. Somebody moving something. Anyway, to get your streams a lot faster. That's what you need to do. Uh, and what internet service providers do, they give you a faster download speed and a slower upload speed because upload speed is usually not what people would want. It's not about how fast you can send something to somebody. It's how fast you can receive stuff. And with a lot of the media today, like when you're listening to music, when you're watching movies, when you're watching video, when you're on social media, everything is a download. Whenever you load a page, it has to download that information. If you're a web designer, you know what I'm talking about because every page you have several, maybe hundreds of images. Everything is like an independent image. And so when you click on that page, all those images not only has to be downloaded, but they have to be placed in the position of where they are. So when you download something that has a high resolution picture or that has a motion picture that has moving parts to it, it may take longer than something that just have simple JPEGs or GIFs or whatever the designer used in order to build that site. But you'll notice that everything starts to come up slowly, and it works from the top down. You have your banner, then you have other images start to show. You have stuff along the side, and including text. Everything will start to show. So if you have a slow internet, you can be you could be reading a page. It may come up to where you may be reading, and then when you get to the bottom of that portion of the page and you start to scroll up, then it adds more images. So that means you have a slow download speed. Your download speed is not catching up. It's not receiving all the information at one time. If you got a fast speed, you'll see everything start to do like this. But then as you start to scroll down, you don't have to worry about everything catching up because it does everything at one time. It may take 5 seconds, depending on how long the page is. It may take 2 or 3 seconds, but at that point, when you click on the page, you can probably scroll down and everything already be there. You won't see stuff being uploaded into place, but that's what with every page. Every time you upload a page, every time you click on the page, that's probably a few megabytes that's being received. So that takes up a lot of your bandwidth. And with a lot of ISPs, especially with the case that I had with Comcast, Comcast only allows you. Well, they changed it now. It used to be 1 terabyte of bandwidth per month. And that terabyte not only includes download, but it also includes upload speeds. And we were going over almost every month. They had 2 3 months where it was free. We blew right through that. Where it went unlimited. At that point, I wasn't restricting any internet, turning anything off at certain hours. I'm like, it's it's unlimited. Just have at it. And we had videos and it just playing stuff like it wasn't nothing. And 1 month, I think uh, the cap was at 1 terabyte. I think 1 month we did 2.7 terabytes, almost 3 terabytes, and then the months before that it was like 1.1.7. So I mean, we always go over about around the 20th of the month. It's gone. But now that's that is gone. I've changed the service to where we have unlimited. So I know right now and service started on the 5th. We're already probably at 100, 800 megabytes, or no, 800 gigs. Yeah, about 800 gigs. Because I checked one day, I checked the stream, and it was like close to 600. Yeah, I think it was close to 600. I'll I'll go into that later. But anyway, when you're using up bandwidth that you're allowed, you only allowed maybe 1 terabyte. If you don't know, check with your ISP, your internet service provider, and ask them, or go to their webpage and find out what their cap is, because usually everybody have a cap to where you're not going over. With Xfinity, it was 1 terabyte. Now they've lifted it and added an extra 200 gigs, which for us that's a day and a half. But anyway, that you can do 1.2 terabytes, and that has to last you for the whole month. But like I said, check with your service provider and find out what they limit. And let me see, because I think we got more comments here. Let's see. Okay, that I already answered that one. Yo, what's up, Derek? What's up? Atlanta's own Logical DJ, Atlanta's own DJ Logic. Uh, Here we go. Yeah. DJ Dave. He was asking, is there a way to choose the location? Yep, there is. And you could do it. You could do it with any of them. I think you could. Well, most of them that I saw, you could do it. But here with speedtest.net, you just click on the chain server, and it'll give you different locations. And like I said, Sugar Hill and Swanee was the closest. And I use this one the most because, excuse me, it gives you more locations for whatever area you're in. I tried a few other ones, and it was either Atlanta or Charlotte or Miami or somewhere really really far. And I wanted to use something real close to see that quick reaction. And of course, everything is your download speed and your upload speed can be affected because it's it's a longer distance to travel. So it's usually better to test somewhere close by. But yeah, with speed test, speedtest.net, and I do have a few listed, not many, that you can use to test. And if there's any other one that anybody else know about, go ahead and list it. But I did some research checking into it, and I did find some, but I'm like, nah, this is not as good at speedtest.net. And I've been using this one for like years. So right here, all right, I've covered ping, I've covered download, covered upload. Upload is the most important when you're streaming. Of course, download is whenever you're not streaming. You're watching music videos, you're adding more music to your database, or whatever you need that you're bringing in is download. But when you're doing streaming, that 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 upload is the most important. And I mentioned, well, I guess I could do it now because right now I'm doing more more speed test details, and I get into the stuff that I have highlighted right there. But as for your upload speed, and it's going to be more than I'm going to say when I opened up OBS. But if you're doing about round, you probably need about 5 megabytes. If you want to do a 1080 or even a 720 at 60 frames per second, which most people don't anyway. Um, with OBS, you can stream at a higher resolution. Whenever you stream to YouTube, Twitch, and others, you can do a high definition of 1080 or even higher. With YouTube, you can do a 4K, and that takes up a lot of bandwidth. With 4K, you would need an upload speed like this, and you would need a download speed like that in order to watch it. So you would need this type of speed to submit a 4K and to watch a 4K. So like I said, that'll be something else that I mentioned once I open up OBS and explain how to get those features to work right based on what your internet is. I would say right now, guys, while I'm doing this, do a speed test. Do a speed test and put in the comments what your ping, download, and upload is. That's what I want you to do right now. Do a speed test, ping, download, and upload. That's all I need. That's all. Don't need server location. Don't need nothing else. You can put your internet service provider there to let me know if you're AT&T using fiber or if you're using Google Fiber, or if you're using Xfinity, Comcast, if you're using, I know Rudy has. I don't, do you have Cox, or do you use a different cable provider? So Spectrum. Uh, what else? What other service providers? Media One, I think, is still around, and just there's other different providers out there with other different services. So do a speed test, ping, download, upload. Put it in the comments. Let's see what you got. All right. Now I mentioned this earlier about what's circled or what's boxed in right there in green. Now Spectrum is the server location. I'm testing to Spectrum's server in Sugar Hill. And like I say, and let me go back so you can see me. Spectrum is in Sugar Hill. Sugar Hill is probably maybe about probably less than 30 miles from here. It's closer than Atlanta, period. Because I'm about 36 miles from Atlanta. So I don't know where the Atlanta location is, but I know I can get to Sugar Hill probably quicker than I can get to any Atlanta location. That's a server test. So send a couple packets, and you can actually do a ping test and see it. I'm not for sure if you can do a ping test on Mac, but I know you can do it on Windows. If you go into Windows, ask me. Somebody ask me about it later. I'll show you, or you can Google how to do a ping test in command prompt. So, what I was saying, okay, in the square, Spectrum is the server location that I'm sending packets to. I'm doing the ping and the speed test to, and it's in Sugar Hill. You can click on that location with change server. It gives you more options, and you can find something closer to you. And the closer you get it to you, the lower that ping number is going to be. Now, you may want to try something long distance to see how much of a change it is. Like I may want to try um, Cali, or I may want to try Seattle. I may want to send a ping to Seattle and see how long it takes back. Excuse me, see how long it takes to come back. It may take 65 milliseconds. Now, as for the stream, it's not gonna affect my stream. Now, if I do a ping test and it comes back 120 seconds, then that may be an issue. And that's if I do it from Seattle. But I would have to do one locally to see how quick. Now, if I did a ping test to Spectrum now, if I did a ping test to Sugar Hill and it came back 60 milliseconds, I got a problem. There's a problem somewhere because it shouldn't take that long to go short of a distance because that's instantaneous. That's quick. It's not as quick as the human eye or the ear can hear because we can see when something is out of sync and we can hear it as well, but it's fast enough to where I can notice the difference. So if it comes up 50 or more, then I have a problem somewhere. That's what I have in the box. Now, if you haven't noticed on all the speed tests that have been posted in the PowerPoint that I've shaded out was under Xfinity. Xfinity is my service provider or what you call an ISP. So if you hear me say ISP, or basically the internet service provider, then that's what I mean. Because I'm probably going to say ISP instead of internet service provider. But under that number, and the reason I did it in red is that if you ever do a speed test and you post it public, whatever you do not post those numbers. Those numbers is your IP address or the internet protocol for your internet service. It's not the IP address for your laptop. It's not the IP address for your phone. It's not the IP address for any of your hardware. That is the IP address that Xfinity uh, assign for your service. So you don't want to make sure that that information gets out because somebody can hack your stuff. You can get hacked if they get your internet, your server, not server, but your ISP IP address. And the IP address is like a telephone number. I would say a social security number, but there's another example. If you ever heard of a MAC address is more of like a social security number. IP address is more like a telephone number. It can be changed, it can be reassigned, but MAC address is more permanent. And there's a way that you can put fake MAC addresses on stuff, but usually a MAC address is more permanent. Your MAC you have a MAC address on anything that's internet based or Wi-Fi based. So even your phone, you can go in your phone and you can find your MAC address. There's a MAC address on your phone. You actually going to have two MAC addresses. You're going to have a MAC address for your data service or your cellular service, and you're going to have a MAC address for Bluetooth. Bluetooth has its own MAC address, and there's two types of MAC address. I'm not going to go get into that a whole lot because it may go over a lot of the people's head, but there's IP version 4, then there's now IP version 6, which has more characters or more numbers. And since uh, IP protocol 4 has ran out, they now started to move to 6, and I think they just skipped 5. So your IP address is like a telephone number. You don't want your IP address to go public. So if you do an IP address, and that's why I said just do a speed test, post the ping, add the ping, download, upload. Don't no IP address. You can say what service provider you had, but I don't need the IP address. Don't need it. So let's see what else. Let's see what else. Anybody else say anything else before I move on? And I think that was the last one of my slides. Let's see. Okay, yep, that I already answered that question. All right. Did I have another slide? Oh, yeah, I did have another slide. I think I got two more slides. All right, now this is the links that I found when I was looking for the best links. Now, if you look to the right up on the speed test links, now the best links that you can probably run is the ones that your internet service provider offers. Like Xfinity, Comcast has their own. I know AT&T has their own. The one for Google is listed right below the this where it says internet speed test, and it has 138.9 download, 41.2 upload. That was done through Google. So if you go to Google and put in speed test, you get this at the top of the page, and you can do a speed test right then. Now, what you see to the right, That is the speed test for Xfinity. So doing a test from the service that you have will give you a more accurate reading because they're testing from their server location. They're not using somebody else's location. It's tested from their location, and they don't post the IP addresses in this. And it also tells you what type of speeds or basically what type of services that you use for. Like with 300, 307.7 megabits per second download, and I had to request more or show more that you see over right up under the rocket. It gives me my upload speed. My upload speed is 36.8 megabits. And my latency or my ping test, which is under that, is 20 megabits per second, which is still good, even with the speed. But the reason that I have that, it traveled, I tested from a further location, which I couldn't change the test location. The test location is in Woodstock. Woodstock is definitely over 40 miles from here, if not more. It's further than Sugar Hill. It's way farther than Swanee. Probably twice the distance. I could probably go to Sugar Hill and back from the time that it take me to go from here to Woodstock, just to Woodstock. That's just one way. That's not two way. So if you look at that, then the speed test is about the same or less because I had 13 milliseconds from here to Swanee. Now let's say that's 25 miles, and Woodstock is 50 to 60 miles. That's only like a 7 millisecond difference, and that's round trip. That's round trip. Even if you split it half and half, if you say the 13 split in half is 6.5 there, 6.5 back, but Woodstock is 10 there, 10 back. That's still good. That's why I say you want to test a shorter distance first to see how low you can get it, then go all out. And if you want to test to Germany or whatever, or Yugoslavia or Australia or Hawaii, you can do so playing around with other speeds, and that's based off that. Like I said, the best place, number one, is your service provider. Check with your service provider. Most of them usually have their own test, speed test link that you can click on. Even with Xfinity on the mobile app, they have I can test from my phone, and it's usually high. It's probably about this speed or higher, which I don't have. I don't have my phone, but I do have my iPad with the app on it. So while I'm talking, I'm just gonna go ahead and do a speed test there. So ISP, you go with that first. Second, I would recommend speedtest.net, which is the speed test that I was doing earlier, or the speed test that you saw in the other slides. And then you can also do Google. Google is the one right below where it says internet speed test. That's my speed test from Google. It don't give you a whole lot of information. It did to Atlanta, and the Atlanta was 14 milliseconds, and the speed was a lot faster. Now the speeds are going to vary, so that's why I say always go with your ISP first. Go with your ISP first, and then speedtest.net is where I would go after that. Other than that, I didn't really see any other test facilities that were good enough for me to list. So those are the three or four or whatever. And go with whatever your service is. Like if you have cable, then you may not want to use AT&T fiber or Google fiber for your test because it may not test correctly. But I don't know. I haven't really tried that yet. All right. So now those are the speed tests. And now the other important factor is how are you doing those speed tests? What method are you using to do those speed tests? And what I added in this slide is basically Wi-Fi versus Ethernet. And if you don't know the difference, it's basically over the air versus a hard line. And the comparisons are with Wi-Fi, everything travels over the airways. With Ethernet, it's all cable connected. You have either copper lines, or if you have Google or AT&T to the curb, you have fiber. And fiber is basically I don't know, I can't remember what the material made out of, but it travels over light. I think it's fiberglass. Fiberglass that's traveled over light. And so you have impulses of light that transmit the signal, and it converts on every end. You even have amplifiers in between that boost the light signal because eventually, of course, light gradually fades out, but you have to have something to duplicate that. So every couple of 100 feet or whatever, there's a booster that sends the same amount of light, but it's brighter now because it's sending it from a different location. All right, the other comparisons is Wi-Fi is more mobile. Wi-Fi, you can move around a certain area. If you're using Wi-Fi, usually you can get maybe 100 feet or more. Now, if you're doing the Ethernet, you're limited. Just like right now, I'm limited. If I want to use the Ethernet right here in the room that I'm in, then I can only go as far as the cable that I have it connected to. So I may not be able to go no more than 4 feet. I may not be able to go no more than 40 feet or 20 feet or whatever. But if I pick up my iPad and I walk around, I can go around the whole house and I'm still connected. So those are the advantages and disadvantages there. You also have last is that the speeds. Of course, using a wired or a direct connect is going to give you a faster speed than using it wireless, because just like we did with the ping test, that signal has to transfer somewhere and then come back. So there's going to be a slight delay when you're using Wi-Fi as a compared to if you did with uh with the Ethernet line. So that's some of the differences that I want to mention, and the reason I mentioned is if you're doing a stream, and if you can, don't use Wi-Fi, because then even if you get disconnected, if you lose a signal, then you're off the air. So use a hard line. Everything that I have right here, all the computers that I have here in the studio with me or in this area that I'm working from right now, that I'm streaming from right now, are connected hardline. I have a Netgear gigabit switch that's right here at my knee, right up under the shelf of where I'm sitting. And in that, I have a line that's run to a switch in the basement. But other devices that I have here, I have an Asus laptop right here. I got a MacBook right here, and then right over there, I have a desktop that's on the floor that's connected and that's doing all the streaming. Now the Asus laptop is providing the PowerPoint, and the way that I connected to that, I sent the guest link to myself, opened it myself up as a guest on this laptop, and just screen shared the PowerPoint. So that's how you're seeing everything now. I was going to try a different method, but I didn't have time. Maybe next time. And the MacBooks, I'm not even using that period. I can actually close that right now to keep the doors down. All right, so that's it. And the thing I've said with that, if you're streaming, and this is another thing, same with if you want to get that ping up, and you'll notice a big significant difference in the ping, the upload speed, and the download speed because some of the network cards and some of the devices that you have and the Wi-Fi protocols that are listed can't go as fast as a hardline connection. Just like let's see, Cat 5 can go up to 1 terabyte. Cat 6 can go Cat 6 can go up to 1 terabyte. And it's different frequencies that makes them different. And then you got Cat 8. Cat 8 can go up to 20, 25 gigs per second. So like I said, doing a wire is going to be a whole lot faster. So if you could do everything wired, do it. If you have no choice but to do Wi-Fi, stream from your tablet or from your phone or whatever, just make sure that you are connected to Wi-Fi and that you're not using cellular data. You're not using 4 or well, I don't know what the 5G service is because it's still fairly new, but don't use those services because they can drop. They can drop at any time. Cellular service can probably drop. Excuse me. Cellular service can probably drop faster than your Wi-Fi because Wi-Fi is going to be local. It's only going to be a certain amount of distance. Cellular is going to be a whole lot further because you have towers that you can connect to. So make sure that use a cable. That's all I gotta say. Use a cable if you want the fast connection. And that is it for that. Just stop sharing that. And now we are gonna do a little OBS. So right now I'm gonna take a little small break while I get some more water and get set up for OBS. If you have any questions with what I'm probably going to do with OBS or anything else that I've mentioned earlier that I said, okay, hold off and wait until I want to check the time. Okay, about an hour and a half. I'm doing good on time today. So anything else, any questions, anything? Speed test, what the speed test look like, and if anybody has done any, see what the speed test look like. And I'm gonna run another speed test real quick. Not gonna post it. I'm gonna run a speed test right here on, and also with your speed test, besides your equipment, your hardware, how it's being sent out, and your internet that sends it out and brings it back. The other thing that can kill your internet is multiple devices. The more devices you have running, of course, if everybody is streaming Netflix, somebody is going to get a slow connection somewhere. Well, of course, not in this household, but let's say if your service is your download speed is 30 megabits per second, and you have 4 people that are streaming to Netflix. And let's say if they're doing 4K, what is that? Oh, the old card. Just sit right there by my keys. You already put it in?
Yeah.
It working good?
It should be.
Yeah, should because you had it in there before.
Yeah, it should be. I didn't turn it on.
No. Do a speed test, which probably don't make a difference with the graphic card, but yeah, probably would. All right. Where I stop? Oh, I was gonna get set up. But if there's any questions, go ahead, put the questions in. Let me get OBS open. So need to close this. Yes. Do another share screen. All right, now I have my OBS open. As you can see, I have a couple scenes, and I move this around how I want it, and I need to put it back again because I like having stuff to the side since I have that view. Unlock. No, I should unlock. Okay, lock. There we go. Unlock that. All right. No, 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 no. All right. All right. So now I have my OBS open. Now, what I want to mention about OBS, and I want to go into settings about your stream. Then I want to go to stream. Nope, I don't want to go to stream. I want to go to video. Video is where I want to go for one, and it's output. Output is where I want to go first. Now, right now, and let me open this up full screen. So y'all can see. Right now, my video is streaming at 3 megabits per second. Now, if I was using the service that I was using before, which was 25 download, 3 megabits upload, I wouldn't be able to get this out. So just with the video processing, the audio is only 320 kilobits, which the audio doesn't really need to be high, but it does because that's per second. And so with 3 megabytes, that can get to a gigabyte or in the hundreds real quick. So for one song, if that was a song, it will be a few megabytes in no time. So if you have a slow internet speed, then if you have a slow internet speed, then you would want to change that down to a lower number. You could probably get down to 5, and what it's going to do is going to kick back on your resolution. What you want to do besides that is also go into your go into your video sources and your webcam and change that. So let's say, and I'm gonna go ahead and do it for kicks. Change this to 500. Hit apply or just hit OK. And go to one of my sources. I can go to this Logitech, which I don't have connected. And you see custom. I have it set to custom and I have it doing a 1080. So I would want to downgrade that 1080 to maybe a 720, which I can't do it because it's not connected. But anyway, I would want to downgrade that to a 780. Cancel that because I don't need it. And then the other thing that you could do too, you can go back into your settings and change your video, change your canvas and your scale, and also change your well, not the scale filter, but change this number right here, which is your frame rate. Or you can, yeah, let's leave it at 30. 30 be good. But if you change your resolution, if you change one of these numbers, it can change the number for whatever source that you use, whatever video source that you use. Yeah, what you need.
So the problem is it says I need to connect some PCIe power cables.
That is, yeah, you should have one. It's connected to your power supply.
Yeah, but I don't know which one it is.
You can use any of them.
And I connect it to the graphics card? Or connect it on the motherboard?
No, you connect it. All right, let me show you. All right, come over here to it. Excuse me for a second. Now go over here. Go to the computer. No, I'm not even on camera right now. All right, here's the cable right here. Pick that cable up right here on the floor by this Christian sock. That's what you need to connect. No, the black part. You should have one of those, and it connects. This one has two. This card right here has two of them. Right there, you see the yellow and the black?
Okay.
That's where you connect. Whichever one you have on your power supply, you plug it into that. I mean, you have one. Don't unplug the one from your motherboard. You're gonna have one of those plugged into your motherboard, but also you need one that's gonna plug into your video card. So I mean, you should have one if you had it plugged in there before.
There are a few that are hanging out, so it's probably one of those.
All right, guys, I'm back. So, like I said, changing those numbers, changing these numbers right here, because when you're changing it in the source, your source will allow you not to go over. So I had it set at 1080. Since I had my canvas set at 1080, then that that 1080 for that Logitech, even if it was a 4K version, or if it was actually a 4K, it wouldn't let me go any higher. So that'll put a limit on it too. As for your resolution, but you go to your output is what you're going to put out. So you want to make sure that this is based off what your streaming is. And I think that's all that I needed to say about changing that OBS. So if you do a speed test and say if your speed test is 5 megabits per second, don't do don't do 3, or scale back on your resolution. Go to make sure you do 720. If you're doing Facebook and most places anyway, you're not going to go higher than 720. I think you could probably do 1080 on some places on Facebook, but I think that's if you're doing like a personal page or something like that. But just streaming directly to your main page is 720. So scale back, do maybe if you're at 5, I would say chop that in half. Do maybe 2.5 because that gives you a little leeway in case that you're running something that's going to use up a great amount of bandwidth. So say if I was doing, I would change it to 2500, which 2500 kilobits is 2.5 megabits per second. So I would change it to 25, leave the audio rate at 32, 320, because it's not significant enough to uh, to make a difference in your stream unless you're real low. If you're low below 3 megabytes per second, then you could probably change it to 192. But I mean, I will leave it at 320 to keep your audio good and crisp. But your video bit rate, change that to maybe half, or uh, I would say the highest is three quarters, three quarters of whatever your speed test is. That's why we say do your speed test and look at the upload speed. The upload speed is going to determine. Now, if I do this at 5 and my speed test is 5, because like I said, the speed test is not going to be 100% accurate, because if you're testing at to different server locations, it'll be hard to determine. And then whenever I always do 3 tests, I do 3 speed tests and determine the average out of the 3. Which one is the highest, because you could test one and it just be warming up, and then you could test the other one, it'll go up a little bit higher. You could test the third one, it goes a little lower. So you have to give it like a ballpark figure. Like if I'm expecting 980 megabits per second and it does 6 or 700, then I know I'm still in the right ballpark and I won't worry about that. But if it's doing like if my speed test is doing like 25 megabits per second, then that's something I got to worry about. Especially I check the ping, and the ping is doing 50, and then my speed test, my download is doing about 50, and I should be doing close to 1 terabyte. Then that should be something I need to do, or that I need to check on. But like I say, change this, and go to video. I would say video, put everything on 720. Put your canvas on 720, put your scaling on 720, put your because most webcam, unless you got a 4K or something that's 1080 at 60 frames. You really, if you want to do 1080, go with 1080 at 60 frames as opposed to doing 1080 at 30 frames. You won't really see a difference between that and maybe 720 unless unless you have a really big screen and you're using HDMI and you know you have a good graphics card or whatever that's going to produce those resolutions right. But again, change this, change this number, change these to 720. You can go and change it on your sources, but at that point, uh, it's not going to let your sources go higher than what you have specified. You even have it where you can change the settings to what you have here, and then your output. Make sure your output is half, no more than three quarters of what your bandwidth is. Now, if you're running multiple stuff that's using your bandwidth, then you need to go a lot less. So that is that is it. Let me change mine's back. Matter of fact, I'm gonna turn mine up to 5 megabits per second. And the other stuff, the encoder and stuff like that, don't mess with it. Do not mess with it. If you don't know what you're messing with, don't mess with it. I'm not really going to explain that. I don't usually change it. So video bit rate is probably the only thing you really need to change. Don't worry about the audio. The video bit rate is what you need to change. And you don't need to change anything here because this is all based on recording, unless you're saving your recording to a different location. You want to save somewhere else or whatever other features that they offer. So I'm gonna make sure that that stays at 5 megabits per second because I can handle it. And then that's it. I'm done. And this is some of the layouts that I have, and that is a it's not what happened. Okay, that right there is supposed to be an overhead. That's where my overhead cam shows up right there. Let me go to something else with this. Now, this light right here that's probably playing with your eyes a little bit. This is an app that I use with the DSLR for the DSLR to show. So my DSLR will show right here, and the app for these colors is controlling it. This is something that I did playing around in Photoshop, and then I use scroll in OBS to do a vertical scroll to scroll on up. Now this blue box right here, this is my restream box. This is where I can see my restream comments, especially on Twitch and YouTube. Facebook is premium. I don't really use it because I can't get to Facebook, and you can't do your personal Facebook. You have to do it from a private if you want to comment and if you want to participate. All right, but that's it. I'm done. I guess there is one thing I can show you guys, and this is a tip. Now there is a way that you can, and I'm gonna do a different video on it, but I'm just gonna show it real quick. There's a way that you can put a limit on your output and never go over. You can turn up your gains on your DJ mixer. You can turn up your master volume. You can turn up everything that's pertaining to that connection. If you're streaming, then you can have it linked to that. So what you do is say right here where your audio mixer is. Say right here, this is right here where this says perfect audio. And what is picking up on perfect audio is where my trying to get it to, okay, there we go. This is where the mic on the Asus is picking up me talking. Now, if I wanted to where it peaks, if I wanted to get here in the yellow, or even if I get it to touch a light red, I had to go here. Excuse me. Here's the key. And I think only Windows have it. I don't even think the Mac version has this option. But go to lock volume. Nope. I need to unlock it. All right. Need to click on the settings wheel. Okay, it wasn't locked. But anyway, I want to talk. So I'm hitting in the yellow, or let's go really low. Let's say I don't want it to go past negative 30 decibels. I don't want it to go over this notch. So I'm going to constantly start talking to where I can get it right at that point and not stress out myself a whole lot. So I get it right here where I'm not yelling. And when I get there, then I just lock it. So I would move this right where I want it to be, get it there, get it perfect, get it close to being perfect. And then I come and then boom, I put a padlock on it. I put a lock on it. And I may have it with several different links or boxes or whatever. I mean, I think some people know what they're looking for. And probably not really paying much attention about what is going on there too. Yep. But that's it. And you get it and you lock it. When you lock it, you lock the volume there. You can, and I've done it. I've turned up all the gains on my mix. I turned everything up on the channel that the stream is going to, and it doesn't pass it. So that's a tip that I can recommend for that. If you don't monitor your sounds, or if you don't monitor yourself, then that's one of the excuse me, that's one of the issues that you can have. And that's why I labeled that one perfect audio, because it peaks right here. It may go into the red, but it doesn't stay in the red. That's the secret that I want to tell there. So let's go ahead and get some Q&A. I said I was going to save it to the end. Not going to do the guest tonight, guys. Gonna keep it low. Plus, I'm tiring out. Been working on this all day as well as other stuff. I got another, and now I'm regretting selling my Logitechs. I got another Logitech cam here that I got from somebody, and it doesn't work. Of course, knew that might be the issue, And I've been working on it, and I'm still working on it. I'm gonna be determined. Probably next week, you will see it working because it will be back, or somewhere during the week. If you see me doing a good overhead, if you see it, my overhead, then I got it working. Really like it for the work right now, and it'll come on, so forth. All right, if we got any questions, go ahead and put them up. We're about to wrap up in a little bit. I guess the only other thing is to drop that secret. All right, and let me create a banner. Give me a second. Let me create a banner. So when I post this, people will be able to find it immediately. As many times as I said it, get my OBS. I don't need OBS open. Oh, there's one thing I want to show. Let me go ahead and open up a Facebook to show you exactly where you stream at. Oh, close it. Did I close that? Yep, I did. Open it back up. Right. So now I'm gonna open up. I'm just gonna go to live because Facebook Live will show what your stream, what your speed, your upload speeds is when you go live. So let me get this. All right, so here's my stream right here, and I want to use the camera. I want to use the camera here. So I want to stream directly from my laptop, and my laptop is connected with the Ethernet, and I got a camera issue. Why do I have a camera issue? Okay, need to disconnect. I'm going to use the camera. Okay, it may not let me connect because I'm using it somewhere else. All right, I got a camera issue. Switch over because won't let me. something is won't let me do it because I'm using StreamYard. Let's see. I need to disconnect camera. Can't see how to get this camera. So I'm not using the camera on this one. Can't even use my. Won't let me do it. Oh, I got questions. And I didn't see these questions. Let's see. Eric had a question, or had like several questions. And I don't see them posted here. Let's see. Okay, no, that's not it. I don't see them because I needed to scroll down. All right, let me answer these questions real quick. We'll catch up on the comments. All right, okay. I think we got that far. Okay, yep, I answered that one. Okay, he said, believe it or not, my download speed is the same for wired and the Wi-Fi, 11.7. Now, what is your ping? And what are you using? What are you using for what are you using for wired? What type of device? Now, with newer laptops have the NIC card or the Ethernet in them to where they do in the tens and the hundreds of megabits. So you can get and I don't think it's at 100, but it's around in the hundreds. So you could probably get maybe 300 to 500. But if you have the 10, 100, 1000, which is for gigabit speeds, that will get you a whole lot more. If your laptop or whatever device that you're using is doing 10, 100, then that can give you closer to what you get with Wi-Fi. Like I said, it's also based on the equipment, and you don't have to have the most fastest and efficient equipment, but you need to make sure that you have something that's comparable to what you're doing. And let me catch up. Let's see. Now, last week I saw somebody when I posted speed tests after I got the service. There was one person that had their upload and download was close to the same. It was like 800. they had fiber to the curb, and they had like 800 megabits per second on both upload and download. And I was like, that's what I need right there. Yeah, wired is always gonna be faster. That's what I'm trying to see. How did you get that speed for wired too? Let me see. Were there any other questions or what other comments that you made? Okay, wired upload is 3 times better than download. Wait a minute. Wired. Yeah. Teaching the youngest younger. Yep. I had both my oldest and my middle one, which my middle one, he that was him that came in here. I bought the same person that I got the Logitech from. I got a video card. He needed a video card for to play his games. When he built this computer, that's where his funds stopped. His funds stopped at getting a good video card. So I had a 1 terabyte card that I had, and I let him use it for a while, but now I want to start using this computer back again. I may start to upgrade or whatever. So I knew somebody that was selling some computer parts, so I hit him up. He was selling it for $30. I'm like, okay, I'll take it. And his is a 2 terabyte. His is a 2 terabyte graphics card, and so I got that, and I put that in today. I spent most of the time when I got it trying to get the Logitech to work, so I can be able to use it at night. The camera that I'm using right now is probably not as good as the Logitech, but it suffice. And well, that's where we are right now. And so I gave him the card today so he can go ahead and put in when he had time. And I guess right now is the time that he's putting it in. And the youngest is asking for a computer. I got a i7 Dell that I may be giving to him, but he got to clean this room first. He gonna have to do some chores. You just ain't gonna get it like that, and he's gonna pay me for it. What I paid for it is about what he's gonna pay for it. All right, been there, did that. They were doing cool until this virus hit. All right, gotcha. Okay, I see another comment. Scroll down a bit more. Seem like seems like just me and you now. Yeah, and I'm about to wrap it up because I haven't ate anything since earlier today because I was working on the PowerPoint first. It took me a while to come up with the questions. Once I started doing when I did the actual post and put questions in that, I'm like, okay, so I should have did the post first, and then I would have did the everything else would have fell in line as for the PowerPoint. And there was some stuff about the PowerPoint that I left out. One of the things that I left out was and it's probably not that important the difference between fiber and cable, which that would have been another 4 or 5 different slides. So I didn't get a chance to go in that, and plus the computer that I was using, I haven't used in a while. So I had to tinker around with it to get it working. This Logitech still not working. So Yep, I'm done. I'm tapped out. And my water's almost gone. I don't know if you noticed the difference in my voice where I have to take a sip of water. So this is not going to be 5 hours. This is this is just under 2 hours. That's pretty good. Got any questions or anything that you want to ask? I know it's you and well, I guess it's just me. Let me drop off here. All right, let's see. See if that number changed. Cause yeah, I think there's like one other person here. Maybe probably you and Rudy. Well, he may be gone because I think he has to work tomorrow. Don't usually have too many people that hang around, but I told him that this wasn't gonna be a 5 hour podcast. Definitely wasn't gonna be a 5 hour podcast. Oh, yeah, let me go ahead. That's what I was working on. I got myself sidetracked. Let me go ahead and do this. And I'm gonna have to go back and all right. All right. And I think I misspelled something. All right, here we go. All right, now I said I was gonna mention this last, and this is it. After this, I'm done. I got a second wind of energy. I'm gonna go ahead and get this out the way. I'm gonna have to open up that shared screen again so I can do it over here. And this is gonna be as simple, really simple. So I'm opening up another guest. And what I want you to do, and I'm sure somebody else is going to pop up in it when I do this. All right, open that up again. I'm going back to my Facebook, not going to that. Now, and I'm going to do this a scrolling bar. This is going to be scrolling. Now, this is my secret, and not only my secret, this is the secret. This is the method that Mark Zuckerberg mentioned about how you can stream to Facebook and not get muted. So, right now, here is the secret. This is the secret that he came out with. A lot of people didn't see it. And now I'm sharing it here at the end of this video. I'm going to share it and I'm going to show you how I do it. If you didn't see me do it earlier last week or last week or no, it wasn't this week, but whenever, if you didn't see me do it, because I did it, I always do my test streams late. I don't really do stuff in the daytime. I do stuff late where I don't have to really change my settings and stuff to where people pop in. I sometimes want people pop in, but I had one person to pop in while I was doing this because me and another person was doing it, another person that knew about it. But here is the secret. This is what you do. Right, where is it? Right here. These are what they call rooms. You can create a room just like you can create a instant message group. But just like with an instant message group, you can't really stream to it. It's just where you and other people you could probably, yeah, you probably can do with the group, but you have limitations. Now, what they did recently with the rooms, and I've been using rooms since it first dropped. I think I used it the second day that it was finally released. Now, when I watched the video with Mark Zuckerberg, he mentioned that you can open up a room and you can DJ from that room. You can have it private or you can make it public. Now, in the beginning, up to last probably Friday, I don't know when it was before that because I usually use rooms on Friday. Me and my family, we have a family Friday session where we all get together and talk or whatever, just catch up with just family, try to find out what's going with it on with everybody, how everybody's doing and stuff like that. So we do that every Friday whenever people join in. So that's when I mostly use rooms. I use rooms also to do streaming here in the neighborhood, to stream to my neighbors. I stream from rooms in the Facebook group, in the community Facebook group. Now, rooms work just like Zoom. Now, you can do a Zoom party and you won't get muted, you won't get blocked, you won't get any notices from Sony or any of the other record labels because they don't monitor it. Rooms is the same thing. Rooms is just like Zoom, but on Facebook. Now, before last week, it was the method to where you could create a room, but nobody knew about the room unless they saw it, unless they saw this section right here. They see this section right here and they see that you have a room open. You can go and click on any of those people and you can start a room. You can start a room and it could be anything. You can have anything in that room. Now, the photo or the video that he had a room open and there was a DJ and then there was people that was listening in. So just like you do a Zoom party, you could do a rooms party. But now with the rooms party, they have it to where your rooms, you can get it to show directly in Facebook just as if you are going live. But when I tested it, the main thing I wanted to know is, okay, if I use this feature, will I still get muted? Will I still get blocked? Will I still get a notice? Yes, you will. But why would you continue to do that if you're going to get this? You have to look beyond that. Look beyond the point that when you open the room and you share the room that you're going live, that you're going to get muted, blocked, notified, whatever from the record label. Yes, you get it for that, but guess what? You just created a room or basically like a Zoom party over here to where you could either give public access or you can keep it private. Here's an analogy of how I explain it. Think about it as a private party with a window. You have your private party, which is your room. You create your room to wherever you want it to be, but there's a window right here. People from the outside are looking in. They can look and see what's going on the inside. They can hear the music. They get to see, they basically get everything here that they can get here. But they can, once Facebook mutes you and shut you down or whatever it is that they're going to do, then the people on the outside, they don't see this anymore, because now the doors and the windows have been boarded up, so they can't see what's beyond this point. They can't see what's beyond this point, but the party is still going on over here. The party is still going on. So now what do? You either give them public access, which now they're now in, or you give them a private access. Give them private access, and the way that he explained it, I don't know how, what, who has a fan base like that where you can you can have a Facebook post and a video, and you could charge $5, even $10 for a person to come and listen and watch you play or spin or whatever. And that's how you can monetize it. There's other ways that you can monetize it too, just like you do with Twitch. But that's the way that you can monetize that, because it's a piece of history. And so that's it. And I'm just gonna do it. I'm just gonna create a room real quick. I'm not for sure if it's gonna let me open up all the windows. But what I do, click on me, and I'm gonna change the name. Well, I got one. Trying rooms. Let me change it to this. See how many people see this. And you only limit it to 20 characters. Great. All right. I didn't finish that. So I got to do it over again. So I accidentally clicked on something. Did it again. Oh, no, 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 no. All right. I can get it all in. Secret to streaming. Can I get IN? Oh, can't even get in. All right, and I'm gonna hit the music. Oh, I think it still didn't go through. All right, third time's a charm, or is this fourth? I don't know. All right, and I click save. All right, now I got the name of my room, and I'm just gonna leave it. This right here leaves it open. This right here, if you want to make it private, and you can unlock and lock it at any time by going into uh, one of the settings and change it. I'm just gonna leave it open. All right, so who's invited? Anybody, friends. And I wanted to start now. I guess you can do, yeah, you can do schedule. All right, so yeah, I need to do that. That's one thing I need to do after. I need to change the family one to schedule. So now, if you look at my post, because I'm looking at a screen right here. I got a 50-inch right here that I'm using as a screen. I can see the secret. I can see where it is in rooms, and anybody can join in. And I'm gonna send this. You still here, Eric? So hey, got 4 people tuned in now. Let me see who's tuned in now. Oh, don't tell me that you left. This is Sassy. All right, you already know about this because you was with me the other day when I did this, doing the same thing. Secret streaming on Facebook. All right, and see, I got Eric joining in, and I got every device around here, and it won't let me connect, as you can. Okay, I can't get in because, and this is the thing, you gotta let me decline for a second. I'm gonna decline it because I that's one thing you can only I declined it. I mean, I could have did it from another device, but I want to do it here so you can see it. But give me a second. Let me. Okay, let me do because you can only use one webcam, and since I got StreamYard open, and I'm not really using the webcam, not using the webcam. I'm just using it for. Okay, let me do that and see if it. Let me see if it'll work. I can do and invite. I can invite people. Pulls up my list. I can share it. Now, if I do this, it's going to show me live. I'm going to do that right now. I can edit what I had earlier, and this right here will take me out. This right here, I can send this link and send this to people that's not even on Facebook. And I think they have to create some type of temporary account or something like that, some type of quick account to where they can get access. But right now, let me try to join in because I keep getting this error message. And the only reason I'm getting this error message is because my webcam is being used somewhere else. Okay, I think I'm in right now. And you can't see this because let me go back and share this. Do a share screen for this. So let me remove that. All right, there we go. So now this is the room. I'm about to go into it. And it still won't let me do it. I'm not gonna be able to do it because my webcam is tied up somewhere else. And that's the only problem. But once you get it open, once you can get in, good. Trying to figure out what can I do. Change it to something crazy, something I don't use. Right now, it's seeing that that I'm tied up somewhere else. But that is the secret. Okay, I closed that. Let me go back. But that's the secret. Let me see if I can get in. That's what they need to fix that. So restart Chrome. No, that ain't gonna work. No, I may try it. All right, let me try something else. Got this Logitech here. Let's see if it can. But usually, once I get past this, I'm into the room. And once I'm into the room, then I can click on the link to share it to where it posts directly to Facebook. All right. All right. Completely shut down. I shut down Chrome. Now I'm going to try to open it back up and see what it does. Because the room is still open. The secret to stream. It still won't let me do it. All right, let me try this. Yeah, because I'm not even on StreamYard anymore. Yeah, I'm getting tired too. Yeah, it won't. Why won't let me do it now? I only got one. All right, let me try it from the mobile device. I'm gonna try it from an iPad. All right, I'm gonna try it from my iPad this time. All right. And when you're on mobile, rooms is, if I remember right, it should be in Messenger. So that's where it connects to Messenger. All right, coming up. Yeah, I'm getting real drowsy and hungry. But anyway, this is the secret. Create a room, and then once you get into the room, which I can't right now, I don't know what's holding me up from not getting in the room. And let me make sure Chrome is completely shut. And that's probably why I need to get into the room first. Can't even get into my own room. And it looks like all my Chrome tabs are closed. Try this one last time because I'm fighting it. All right, open up my Facebook. The room is still there. The secret to stream. And it did it again. This is the last time because I'm dozing. Yeah, it's not gonna work. It'll probably work. Wait, we try this. We try it on the computer that I'm streaming from. Which I know it shouldn't work because okay. And it started to open. now it's saying yeah, it's not gonna allow me to do it because I'm using the webcam and my screen is frozen. All right, well, I'm dead.